So we slaughtered our Kuni pig yesterday, or hog. We slaughtered our Kuni hog yesterday, and it's a first for us. He was very overweight, and he had a lot of fat on him. He dressed out at 143 pounds, which is surprising. I thought it would be less than that, but we'll see once all the fat comes off how much meat there really is there. And so last night I soaked the liver, and I've got the heart and the tongue here, and the kidney. So the heart, tongue, and liver I just soaked in a salt water bath for 24 hours and drained them, and now I'm just slow boiling the tongue and the heart to tenderize it. And the liver I'm going to coat with some flour, salt, and pepper, and serve it with some onions. And that's what I've got going here right now, is I'm caramelizing some onions to go with the liver. Liver and onions I love it. Lots of people kind of wonder, but I've always enjoyed liver. I love the flavor, the texture, everything. With some good sauteed onions, there's nothing like. It's probably more onions than what I need to have, but some caramelized onions left over won't go amiss. We'll make up some French onion soup if there's enough left over. And tomorrow I've got the neighbors' two boys coming over, and they're going to help me do some yard cleanup. The snow has left from under the evergreen trees, and they need to tidy up, so I'm going to have them help me do that. So we can have some French onion soup and a sandwich. That should fill them up. Yeah, so I've got the heart and tongue. I'll leave them simmer. The kidneys are done, and I had a taste, and they taste delicious. Because he was a little guy, there's not a lot of kidney left, but oh, does it ever taste good. Now the kidney, I soaked in salt and milk, and lots of times if you don't soak it, you have to boil a lot, and then you get that urine taste, whereas this pulled it all out, and you just get the nice flavor of the kidney instead. And I didn't have to add any water to the water either, because it was, even though I rinsed it, it was still salty enough that there was enough salt in it. And same with the tongue and the heart will be the same, I'm sure. And with those, what I'm going to do is cut them up and make pickled tongue and heart. In fact, I should add some spice to it. Let's see if I've got my pickling spice here. I do. So I'm just going to add some pickling spice to it, just to give it a little bit more flavor, because the tongue and the heart don't have as much flavor as your liver and your kidneys. Well, just do that's probably about 2 teaspoons worth with that heart and tongue. So we had a nice surprise today. The neighbor who we crop share hay with, he showed up with the hay wagon, and he's got pheasants, and the 2 males were fighting, and he was just gonna eat one. And I said, well, if you're gonna do that, I'll buy it from you. So he said, okay, we'll catch them, and you can have a hen too, and we'll bring them, we'll bring them in the morning. And I got a call, and they said, oh, can we bring them over right away? And so they brought them over. So we now have a cock and a hen, I believe, is what they are, the male and female. I've always loved pheasants, and so I'm looking forward to raising them. And they're starting to lay, so what I'll do is check for eggs regularly, and I'll try and hatch out some so we can increase our flock. This onion is starting to get really nice here. I let the lambs out of the barn today for a while too, and they were just kicking up and running, and I forgot my camera, so I didn't get it on camera, but I just sat and watched them because they were so much fun. And then at the second feed for the littlest one, I just called her, and she came up and watched me mix up the milk in the house, and then we went out on the deck and she had her lunch there. So she was quite happy. But I had to go put them in because when the neighbor drove in, they thought they should be watch sheep. And they went running out to the truck. I'm sure they were thinking they were going to get something to eat. So anyway, I put them back in, but that was late today, so they were out in the sun all day today. They're 5 and 2 weeks old. The two males are 5 weeks old, and the little female is 2 weeks old. And she's coming along really good. I did get 2 with them, but my little quintuplet one, she didn't grow. She just was too weak, I think. She was up and about, and then she kind of went off her food, and that was kind of the end of it. So these are starting to get nice and golden, the onions. I'll get a bowl to put them in. Yeah, so the farm is getting repopulated. It feels good to have all the different animals again. And it's been since the fall of 2019 when my hips got really bad. Now that I have the one replacement, it has made quite a difference on my walking ability and able to do stuff. I have far less pain, and I'm able to rest the bad leg. Before it was both were bad legs, so there was constant pain. Didn't matter how much pain medication I took. So I'm pretty excited about this growing season. Have a bit more of a garden because I can do it. Last year I just did the raised boxes. And I tried the carrots and the beets in the raised boxes, and they didn't do well. I got little ones. I didn't get the big long ones like I do when I put them out in the garden. And I don't know if it's because it dried out quicker and I maybe didn't water it quite enough. I'm not sure, but I'm going to plant them in the big garden this year, so I hope to have a good crop. So don't those look yummy? Okay, I just need to add a little bit of salt and a little bit of pepper here to my flour. And then we'll get the liver cooking. And the one thing to remember with liver is not to overcook it so that it's dry like cardboard. I'm just putting some sea salt in there. We use sea salt instead of the regular iodized salt. Actually, it's not sea salt, it's Himalayan salt. And you don't need to use as much of that as you do the iodized salt. Okay, so now we're just going to coat this liver in flour. I'm not bothering with the eggs and stuff. The liver has enough moisture in it to collect the flour. And I don't really want a big crust on it. I just want to just coat it. If I want it to have a little bit more flour on it, then I would use an egg wash first, and then you get more flour on it. There we go. Wash the flour off my hands. As you can see, now that I'm getting more mobile, I'm also getting more strength, and I'm able to walk a bit without my walker, which is nice. Okay, we'll just let that cook. And I'm going to have some mashed potatoes with it. They're done. Sit there for a minute while I get my masher. The snow we had a lot of snow during the week, but it's gone away quite a bit already. I'm just going to get some sour cream to put in that. Mashed potatoes, give it a little bit of flavor. Make them nice and creamy. Give them a mash up here. I'll just set them back on the element that's warm to keep them warm till the liver is done, and I can serve it. There. Mashed potatoes. We have a doorbell set up in the shop, so I'm just going to ring the doorbell out there and tell Ron that it's supper time. We'll see if he hears it. Sometimes the cats knock it off the shelf, and then sometimes the cats knock it off the shelf, and then it doesn't work because they knock the batteries out, so cover comes off. Ooh, I better sit back a bit. It's spitting. So we're going to get some sausage made with the kuni kuni, just a little bit with the pork chops, and we'll do the ham, one ham up as a ham, and the other one I think as a roast, because there won't be a lot of other roast on there. And we'll see, because I don't know what the side bacon and that will be like on it, so this is a learning experience. So it'll be interesting to see what cuts we get off of it. I know for one thing, when my brother butchered the kuni kuni, that the neck was a lot shorter, and he was found it difficult to get the head off, so the cuts may be quite different on the front end anyway. Okay, that should be cooked enough. I'm just going to turn it off and leave it on low heat there, or no heat, because the cast iron pan will hold the heat. And we'll get Ron back in here and get him served. So I'll come back and show you once I get it served.